what a deal, what a deal. Hey guys, it's Jax, and I've got a problem. How you guys been, huh? You been good? Oh, I've been good. I've been getting a lot of stuff done around here. A lot of stuff done. The seasons are beginning to change, aren't they? Seasons are beginning to change. And you may still be wondering, what is the answer to our annual question concerning this drought? A couple things I'll catch you up on real quick, okay? One of the questions is, did it ever rain in Montana? The answer is sort of. It was very dry early on in the summer, as you watched, as you followed along. Terrible hay crop, which means we need to find some more feed to get the cows through the winter time, right? Things kind of changed a little bit as the late summer progressed. Just the last couple weeks, we kind of got a couple surprise big time soaking rains, okay? And we're super thrilled about it because the growing season's not quite over. It is the end of September, but we don't have any hard freezes in the forecast, at least for 10 more days. The weather looks really great. Like today is supposed to be in the 70s. I think up to 80 a little later in the week. Fairly warm nights. Now, when you combine that forecast with the fact that we got, you know, an inch or so of rain over the last 10 days, you can't, well, this always looks green because it's kind of sub-irrigated, but out in the fields, the grass has turned green again, and it's about that tall, and it's growing. And so we're really excited about this because just, you know, ranch wide, if the whole entire property grows that much grass, that's a lot of feed for the cattle. In fact, we were planning on shipping our calves today, was our plan. But with those rains coming and the forecast being what it is, we decided we're gonna go ahead and wait just a little bit longer, because when that grass grows up, those calves will keep eating, and 2 or 3 more weeks of calves grazing on grass and being with their mamas means that they're gonna gain some more pounds, okay? And, you know, when they gain another 15, 20, 30 pounds by sticking around for another few weeks, that's more revenue in our pocket, which in a year like this, where the market is up due to inflation, we want to try to maximize and get every dollar we can, because we're having to expend some money in corn, in hay and whatnot. So that's kind of the update on the rain situation. Now, the update as far as the situation when it comes to what are we gonna supplement and feed with this year. Well, you saw we got corn laid in, right? So we're gonna use that corn. Just a quick reminder to you that 2 pounds of corn for a cow basically is the equivalent of double the amount of really good hay. So 2 pounds of corn equals about 4 pounds of alfalfa. 2 pounds of corn equals about 6 pounds worth of, you know, marginal feed. So with that in mind, we got the corn laid in. We're about 300 bales short of either hay or 600 bales short of straw. You remember last year we brought in a bunch of straw and then we treated that straw with the liquid. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch from last winter. It's pretty cool, last fall. This year we ran into a little problem, and I briefly mentioned it in a prior episode, but the price of straw, don't ask me why, has like tripled, has doubled in almost all instances, and what we were looking at was almost a tripling of price. Even right down the road here, close by, some guys that had straw were, the price, $110 a ton, versus last year we paid, I mean, way less, anywhere from 40 to 60. So depending how you were putting it up and what you were doing, which was interesting because generally speaking, the drought has shrunk. The Dakotas got lots of moisture. Eastern Montana got lots of moisture. So there's less demand, but the price went up again. Anyway, we decided that we didn't want to deal with that. And here's why. Straw is great to feed and to get by on when it's super, super, super cheap, okay? But if it's even close to the price of what you can get some hay for, there's no point in feeding straw, because it's such a lesser quality feed that for a little bit more money, you can go ahead and get hay. Whereas last year, hay was like $250 to $300 a ton, and straw was $40 to $60 a ton. This year, well, here's what we're going to do right now. Let me tell you. You guys remember Rooster? Oh yeah, of course. How could you ever forget? How could you ever forget old man Roost? So put you on the hunt for some forage. I kind of spearheaded it last year, but kicked it back to you this year. And what'd you find?
Found in eastern Montana, they got rid of all their cows the last couple years because of the drought. This year the drought broke and they've got all kinds of hay.
So it was a weird situation because the guy that you got in contact with literally sold his entire cow herd.
Yep, all of them. He kept 60 for a while, then he sold the whole works.
And then in a freak turn of events, they got like monsoonal rain all spring and summer.
Yep.
So they put up record amounts of hay. How far east of here are we going?
Let's see, how far is Miles City?
Oh, it's about 3 hours.
3, and then it's another 2 hours, 5 hours away.
Okay,
6,
so we're going about 5 to 6 hours east of here because Rooster found we're going to bring back some triticale, which is, if you remember, we brought some hay up. Jared Whitworth was gracious enough to donate some hay to us last year, so we brought that up and fed, and was really great feed. So you found 200 bales of that?
Yeah, 200 bales of that and 100 bales of regular hay.
Okay. So we're gonna go after that. Now price-wise, let's talk about price because, oh, here's the UPS man. He's gonna be wondering what we're doing. He's our guy. I was hoping it was something special for me, but it's not. So price-wise, this triticale,
it's $100 a ton, which is cheaper than straw.
I was just telling them that down the road, they're selling straw for 110 a ton. And then, you know, you go west of us and it's a little bit cheaper, but way farther away. So, and then the grass mix was
150.
Yeah, which was great.
Which is the most I've ever in my life even dreamed of paying for hay.
Isn't it weird how it feels?
But it seems cheap.
It seems cheap, but it's kind of like diesel. Now that diesel's down to like 480, people are like, "Oh, wow!" But it's not. It's still terrible.
Horrible.
Okay, so the next thing I got for you, we got 2 trucks ready to roll. I got the Kenworth here, and then you guys see over yonder, we got the old Blue 3. Now, I offered Rooster to drive the fresh. I replaced all the shocks on this Kenworth. It's freshly overhauled, and I offered Rooster the chance to drive it. What do you say?
I like flat noses.
You guys, he will not drive a long nose truck. And why?
Because I don't know where I'm at on the road. It feels so different. I got 3 million miles on a cab over.
On a cab over. So
and the long noses, I just not comfortable in them.
So Rooster's gonna go back in time into Blue 3, which is almost identical to Blue 2, as you remember. And he's gonna pull a 48-foot straight trailer. I'm gonna pull the hay trains, and we're gonna get down the road and we'll show you how this goes. Should we hit it?
So let's do it.
The new GoPro, what is it? The image stability to test. Hopefully it's doing what they advertise. We'll see. We're rocking along. Everything's so far so good. We're a third of the way there. Well, you guys, it's so funny. Rooster. He is just like, you can just tell he's just back in the mode. He's just like kid in a candy store right now. He helps truck, you know, like last year when we hauled all that straw. He does that. He maintains his CDL, and is always happy to truck. But prior to this trip, I've been having him for the last several years. He's been driving the cab over Peterbilt. Now, ultimately, I've got plans to get his Blue 2 box off, remember? Ultimately, there's plans to get that truck, you know, get the flatbed on it and get it hooked up and rigged up so that that can be his hay hauling rig. That's the plan. But right now, he's in Blue 3, which is basically the high-tech version of Blue 2. And I called him up on the phone after we were a little ways down the road, and I'm like, how's it going back there, Rooster? Good, good, man. Oh, man. This just feels like Blue 2. I'm like, that's great. So you feel more comfortable. Oh, man, I'm just like, I'm right back in the saddle. Just feel like I'm headed to South Dakota again with another load of hogs. And he's going on, you know, I had a few little questions about, you know, where's this or where's that, or, you know, all trucks have kind of their own RPM situation, meaning that, you know, there's a little power band that you want it to settle into when you're going down the road. And he was asking where his is. Mine's a little different than his. So he's running a little bit underneath, a little bit lower RPMs than what you would typically like if you were driving that truck by itself. And I'm running just a tick above what I would run were I by myself. So you find that middle ground when you're running together. And that's how you do it. But the last thing that he told me, it was funny. He goes, I'm comfortable in this thing, man. He goes, like this feels good. The cab over Pete, it's a little bit scrunched like this. You feel a little bit like this while you're driving it. Even though it's got this monstrous wide cab, you just feel a little pinched in there. I feel a little bit pinched. And my shoulders are much smaller and weaker than Rooster's big, powerful, broad shoulders. Little plug for you there, Rooster. Anyway, of course, in Blue 3, very, very open, lots of leg room, lots of shoulder room. You can sit back. And he goes, you know, if you get in a pinch, because I'd run cattle with you. If you need me to hook on, you know, do a double run somewhere together. I don't want to go out on my own, but in this truck, Blue 3, yeah, you need anything, just let's do it. So who knows, maybe things will align just right that Rooster and I will be able to do a double cattle run to Nebraska. That would be some fun YouTubing, wouldn't it? And if we end up doing that, I might even break down and take the Peterbilt out just so that we have a double cab over run. Going east. Who knows? Who knows? It's hard to say. In the heat of the fall run, what it would likely be is one of my guys breaks down. I've got a load scheduled, and I got to call Rooster and say, can you just go hook onto that trailer? The fall is so hectic. Oh, here's an antelope running straight down the road. Get off there. Hey. There's an antelope. Got a little traveler with me. I don't know if you can see her back there or not. Old Bam Bam came along. That antelope was running straight down the center line, away from me. It's just down the center line. But anyway, the fall gets really hectic, so if it turns out that we get to do something, it'll likely be last second. Not a very, you know, big chance that it's something we're going to be able to plan out. It's probably like, hey, I'm coming back from Nebraska, jump in Blue 3, let's meet over in Bozeman, we'll get the trucks and trailers swapped around and let's roll. But if we do have time to pre-plan it a little bit, it would definitely be pretty dope to do a 2-cab over run. My dream would be to do a 3-cab over run. Get Weston, remember Weston? Get Weston to do a triple cab over run sometime where we do 3 loads of cattle, all the same place. Chances of all the stars aligning for something like that, nearly entirely impossible. But a guy can dream, right? So anyway, next up, we're gonna stop up here at Miles City. That's about another hour away. We're decent on fuel, but I think we're gonna top off our tanks just so we're good and square. Kind of need to go around, check the trailers, hubs, tires. Everything should be good. I've used these trailers. They're old and tired looking, but I keep them in good shape. So don't let the outward appearance fool you. But I do like to keep a tight eye on this stuff when it's this age. These trailers are from the late 70s. All steel from the late 70s. So kind of old workhorses. But anyway, stretch our legs, grab a sandwich. You getting hungry back there, Bam Bam? She's still a little upset with me for bringing her along. We got in and she went back and cried herself to sleep. I'm like, come on, man, like, yeah. Once we get rolling, she has a great time, but a little bit tentative to leave Mama behind. Anyway, all right, y'all, let's keep on rocking.
Forever young, or am I faking? On the tip of my tongue, there's a sarcasm way.
Come on, Bammy. Let's go see what's inside, huh?
I'm willing to trade my soul for a bit of your charm. There's no way I fade into oblivion, 'cause I'll keep shining over you.
Show them what I'm doing. Okay, show them here. I'm gonna look up here. There you go. Good stuff. You guys wanna see who your filmer is? Bamboo. Can you wave and say hi? All right, baby. Hold that. Oh man, that's a big old nozzle, huh? Thank you. Okay, let's walk around and check the trailer out. Bam Bam, come on. This one's got a little seepage, but keeping an eye on it. Let's see, you feel right here, Bam Bam? You feel this to see if it's hot? Is it hot or just warm? Just warm? Okay, how about this one? Hot or warm?
Warm.
Okay. Warm? Yeah. Okay. Hubs are good. Everything's good. Let's go see what Rooster's up to, huh? Yeah, getting all them bugs off. All them grasshopper guts. Come try this other one out. Get some more water. Hey, Luna, you get my lights too? What else you washing? Huh? Whoa, that thing's like as big as you. Show me. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Well, we're fueled up. Truck run all right?
Running great. I didn't hit a deer, antelope.
It's good. It's way better than me. I almost hit an antelope. Was running. Do you see that one going down the highway?
Do you see what he did after he came back?
No, did he come to you?
Yeah, he wanted to come across again. Goofy thing.
Pick out a little drink too, Bunny? Yeah. Pick out of this. See where Grandpa's putting the drink in there. Yeah? Okay guys, this is a little trucking 101. Think of parking in the fuel islands with your truck like parking in the soda fountain. When you go to get your soda, after it's full, you don't block it while you put your lid on, right? You slide it down here to the side to put your stuff together. So think of it the same way after you fuel your semi in fuel islands. Pull your truck out of the way to be courteous so that the person next in line, in this case it was Rooster behind me, waiting patiently, he can start fueling up his cup since I'm out of the way. Eh? Pretty good.
Just as a point of interest, I never once pulled my truck out of the island.
You never did all those years?
Until I got almost paid for.
It's a hot button issue these days. You get people parking in there for like half an hour nowadays. 45 minutes.
If I was showering, I'd.
What do you got, Bammy? I told Bama she could get whatever she wanted. Let's see what she came up with. What? Ooh, a little juice and some more sugars. Oh man. Mike, helmet.
Daddy, look at me. Look at that.
Hey, Mike. It's Jackson Allen, Russ's son. Good, man. Good. We just topped off here at Miles City and heading your way. So I figured I better call and get some directions from you. Yep. You said at the Ready Mix plant there? Okay. Ah, it's been a few years. I gotcha. Cool. Well, we'll give you a holler then from old Bakertown, and we'll go from there.
I'll
All right.
put his number in yours.
Ah, let's get rolling. Truck out? You think it's dirty or what?
Good.
Like what? Like that on the floor? Oh man. There's hardly any room. Hardly any room for you anywhere, is there? Are you glad you came trucking?
Yeah.
You having fun now? Oh yeah. That can be your job. You can be the cleaner, okay?
Now.
Yeah, you be the special cleaner.
Now.
mix plant. When you haul hay, depending on the seller, you got to get an empty weight and a loaded weight. Some people want every weight of every single load. Some are cool with just grabbing a couple loads worth and using that as an average. So we'll see what this outfit's like. We got weighed in at the ready mix plant. They weren't letting trucks weigh at the grain elevator anymore because some really bright hay hauler hooked one of the doors and ripped the doors off the grain elevator. Don't ask me why they were weighing hay trucks inside the grain elevator. That sounds like a terrible idea because they're so wide, you know. But anyway, so we got weighed at the ready mix. We're gonna have to reweigh after hours. So we got set up. They're gonna leave the weigh station scale monitor on for us, so we can weigh out tonight after we get loaded. We're still about another 35 miles from this place. There was a little bit of a miscommunication, and I'm not sure between
turn left onto 101 road.
I'm not sure between you and us, who the miscommunication was between. When I do these hay deals, I've learned when you get out in this country, the locations are very, very different one to the next. Somebody's place might be a mile off the highway. Somebody's place might be 50. Yes, you heard me. 50 miles off of the highway some places. So of course, whenever I hear about anything, this is mostly with cattle, but whenever I have someone call looking for trucks out of eastern Montana, the first question is, what's it like? Where's the location? How far off of the asphalt is it? Now I know this doesn't sound really hardcore to some of you guys that live your lives gravel hauling and back roading and such, but I came to the conclusion that you cannot operate a truck under both circumstances. You either have to have an off-road dirt banger, or you have to have a truck that you maintain for the highway. To have one that does both doesn't work well, because it doesn't stay DOT compliant for very long. So much rattling and vibration and banging around that things start falling apart, and things that if you're just running around on the back roads, it's no big deal. But if you're going to try to be on the highway and cross scales and deal with DOT, you can't do both. So because of that, I'm very careful. I did get, back in the early days, I got a call to haul some hay.
Onto 101 road.
Here it comes. I got called to haul some hay, and it was literally 47 miles. This is a rough road. 47 miles off of the highway on gravel and dirt, just to get in. That was one way to get in. And then of course, obviously you had to flip around and do that coming out. So I was
For 17 miles, continue straight.
I was under the impression that this deal was, we're just turning to go in and here's a truck coming out and he's just got dust just pouring out of his wheels. Anyway, I was told that it was 2 miles off of the road, which in my mind is off of the road, the pavement. But we get out here and I got the official directions, and it appears that it is a little further than that off the road. We're looking at more like 15 to 20 miles of gravel, which is fine. He says it's a really good road, and we're out here and we're gonna do it. But I always have a pain when I go and I spend $7,000 on new tires for my over-the-road truck, and then I gotta go do just miles and miles and miles of gravel. It just pains my soul. So this is pretty much just me just venting it out to you guys. But it is what it is. It's what we gotta do to get it done, so we'll get it done. The thing about gravel that I've learned over the years, the great equalizer, is literally speed. And no, I don't mean the faster you go, the smoother it is. I mean, if a gravel road can only do as much damage to your truck as you'll allow it. So if you want to bang across the road at 40 miles an hour, it's going to be rough, right? But worst case scenario, and I've done this many times hauling cattle, you just drive 10 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour, and you just go on in. I'm hopeful that this road is more like a 30 mile an hour road, But we will find out. When we turn to gravel, I'll shoot you with another time lapse. And anyway, we'll get her in and get it done. Not that this truck is like the queen of the highway, but I spent a lot of money to keep it the way it needs to be. So anyway, we'll get it. We've got 300 bales to haul out of this place, and we haul, when we go together, we're gonna haul 75 bales a turn. It's gonna be right at 6 hours getting out here, 6.5 hours. So you can do basically around a day if you really stay hard on it. So 70 bales around. Rooster's got elbow surgery coming up later this week, so he's gonna be out of commission. We'll see. It'll probably end up being, you know, several rounds. It just depends what we can do together and what we end up having to do on our own. But we got plenty of time. We're a long ways away from needing to feed. But when the weather's nice and it's dry right now out here, especially with all this gravel, I'm not coming in here when it's wet. I can guarantee you that. Then you get caked with mud and all that jazz. So we're not gonna deal with that. But while the weather is nice and it's dry, I'm gonna get as many of these bales hauled back across the eastern Montana sagebrush as we can possibly get. Hold it nice and still. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna turn you.
Come on, Bam Bam.
Okay.
Show him the sign that Grandpa put up.
Grandpa
that
put
sign.
up.
You know what I'm doing? You know what this is called?
No.
Tightening the straps. Get them good and tight.
I'm turning you.
What?
I'm turning you.
You want to record me?
Yeah.
Okay, record me. There you go. We want these real tight so they don't fall off on the road. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Why don't you go down there and go see how Grampy's doing?
Yeah. Daddy, look what just happened.
It's still recording. Even though it's not showing it, it is. You can just put your finger on the screen. Just touch it with your finger.
Oh.
Yeah, see? Okay. Well, we're strapped up, we think.
Well, hope they ride, buddy.
Yeah, your load looks pretty nice over there from
It
here.
actually looks pretty square.
Quite picturesque in the sunset. But
It'll be nighttime.
we'll see. Fammy, take the camera over. I think there's something over there. Take the camera and walk over that way. There's something laying in the straw over there. See it? We'll take everyone on an adventure.
Okay.
Over there. Go right up there. Show me.
I don't want to come. Daddy, see it. Let me see. Ew.
Come right up here. You can see it.
Is it dead?
Yeah, it's dead.
Ew, look, ew.
Tractor ran over him.
What?
Tractor ran over him.
Oh.
Squished him, huh?
Daddy, it's a dead porcupine. A chatty ran over it. You wanna see it, Daddy? I'm put it. Daddy, if it's Dad, I wanna take a picture of it. Dad, I wanna take a picture of it. But I didn't.
That's all right. Let's stop the recording.
Watch it.
Yeah, for now. Good morning. Good morning, you guys. What an unexpected evening last night. Just kind of kept going on and on and on, right? We get loaded. It's evening time, you know. It's not dark yet, but we get strapped down, you know, you saw the deal. Get rolling, get into town, we get weighed, and we light out. We kind of had a spot in mind. Basically, you know, this is more or less almost 7 hours by the time we get loaded. You know, when you're loaded, when you're driving home with these big trucks, they aren't exactly the swiftest. These bales are fairly light because it's this is what this triticale looks like. You guys remember that I hauled some triticale on the channel out to Washington? If you remember that. Actually, no, I loaded triticale in Washington and hauled it back to Montana to a wheat mill. So what they did with this stuff, let's dig into it. I don't know if the camera quite shows it, but see how it's green? Sometimes the color grading on these cameras don't capture green very good. I might be pulling that out and you're like, it's all yellow. It's not in real life. I don't know if it shows or not, but anyway, this is a little bit lighter of a crop because it's a grain that was cut while it was green, right? So it's a little bit lighter. So anyway, point of that is we made pretty good time, all things considered, but we have like these checkpoints along the way as we're heading home. And you know, we stopped back at Miles City and it's like midnight. Was it midnight? No, yeah, it was about midnight. And we're like, all right, let's try to make it to Jordan, which is, you know, an hour and 30 minutes or so. We'll touch base at Jordan. So we get to Jordan and I call Rooster and I'm like, how you feeling? Old Roost, he's in the blue bomber. He's just feeling like a wizard. And so he's like, let's push on. So if we push on from Jordan, then the next place that we can stop is another hour down the road. So now it's like, you know, 2-ish, whatever, almost 2 a.m., 2:30. And we get to this spot. And this is an actual rest area. That's in them. You got to understand, this rest area is in the absolute middle of nowhere. It's called Mosby, Montana. And there is Nothing. All that's there is Mosby. Some old fella named Mose brought his bees there, and that was a stretch. I know. I'm not tired, you guys. So we get to Mosby, and this is one of these rest areas. We tease about them in Montana because several years ago the state went on this this deal where they created like these $3 to $4 million rest areas out in the middle of nowhere. So this rest area typically is very lightly used. In fact, in my entire trucking career, driving by on this highway, I've never not been able to sleep there. I've never not been able to sleep there. So we get in last night, pull into the rest area. I was feeling pretty good. Rooster was feeling pretty good, but you know, you got to pace yourself because we got a lot of these loads. And she's like, what do you think? We could go home and get in like at 4 a.m. or we could, you know, 3:30 a.m. or we could pull in here and just get some decent sleep. And then it's like an hour, or a little over an hour up from here. Hour and, you know, 10, 20 minutes, whatever. So we pull into the Mosby rest area, and it's completely packed full of semis and cars and campers. Even the car lanes were full. There was barely room for us to get in and get turned around and get back out on the highway. So we get out on the highway, and, you know, that's that. Oh, there's the sun. We get back out on the highway, and we have to drive all the way home. So we ended up coming clear back here, got in at, I don't know, it's kind of in a fugue state, but sometime between 3:30 and 3:45 in the morning. And that's that. So just to give you a reference, we left like at 11 yesterday morning. If you're wondering about the legalities of driving like that, a couple things. One, we're doing this under farm rules, which means you can kind of do what you want for the most part. And number two, we actually are in there's an exemption for hours of service for what we're doing because of the distance and just where we're located in reference to this other place. So we're able to do this as long as we're safe and careful. But yeah, so we left at 11 a.m. yesterday. We made a round and got home by, let's say, 3:30. So the goal today is to get out of here before 11, because that means we'll be ahead of yesterday's schedule. No way that I'm driving all the way home tonight. I will definitely not be doing that. But right now, the order of business is this. That. Putting it together, got to unload the bales, right? So still have this thing hooked up from stacking. So I'm going to park it, get it out of the way, and then I'm going to peel some straps off. I'm not sure if Rooster's going to make another round with me or not. He's scheduled in for some elbow surgery here Thursday morning, and it may be a bit of a stretch between what he has left to do here on the ranch before he's out of commission for a little while. He's supposed to be out of commission for a month or so while he recovers. You can probably imagine how well that's going to go with Rooster. So anyway, all right, let's see if we can get this thing parked and get some bales off of here, huh? right, you guys, that's it. That's it. As you can see behind me, I've got a mountain of hay. I'm amidst the bales. It almost feels like a good old year. See here? Oh, we got a little sunshine on my face. Oh, I can't tell you how much of a relief it is to have that wrapped up. As you may have noticed from spending time with us here on the old wild west, there's always stuff going on here. It's always like, okay, the hay's put away, now it's time to focus on cow hauling. And that's where I'm at. Like, we're just this close to needing to rip and roar and go and get to hauling cows. So this was like the last kind of heavy weight on my shoulders that I needed to get clear around home. I've got a few other things that I need to get done as well, but this was the last big major thing that, remember we did the Eisenhower box many episodes ago? This was the last thing that was urgent and important. It had to happen now, and it had to happen. and it's wrapped up and done. So thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Just a couple quick things to shoot out there for you. I really appreciate you guys. I've been pretty busy as of late, as I just mentioned. Haven't had quite as much time to interact with you in the comments and whatnot. I do try my best, but I appreciate you all following along, taking time out of your day to consume the stuff that I take time out of my day to share with you. So it's like this, that would be a symbiotic relationship, right? Oh, anyway, so I may have mentioned this before. These episodes, they take place over a period of time. It's rare that we shoot an episode start to finish one day. It's done. So because of that, you probably noticed this, but because of that, sometimes I repeat myself, and you may hear something for like the third time and be like, yes, you mentioned that like 4 minutes ago in the video. Well, 4 minutes ago may have been 4 days ago. So anyway, I do my best to try not to oversaturate you with the same things, but basically where we ended up, we're gonna have 600 bales here, okay? Between, this is the hay that we put up on the ranch, this is the triticale, and then the stuff down there is the hay that we hauled in. And you know, I think this is gonna work. I would say, you know, maybe, I don't even think we actually spent any more money than we were targeting on. We kind of had a very tight set budget, and last year the only thing that we could come up with to achieve our budget goals and make it work, where the ranch isn't going to just go into this negative black hole financially, was to get that straw and bring the straw over and treat the straw. But you know, this works out. This triticale is really good stuff. It's really green inside. It's really high quality, and it essentially is the same price. It's actually just a few dollars per bale cheaper than what we could go get straw for. So when we looked at it, and it was like straw or triticale, yes, this triticale is further away, so that means a little more time in the truck, but we don't need near as much of it because it's so much more nutritious. It goes so much farther than straw that it was a no-brainer. Straw works, and in a tight year, straw will always be on the menu when it makes sense financially. When I say that, straw is such a lesser product than like triticale or hay, that it has to cost like 15-20% of what this hay costs to go get and bring in. And if you can get it like exponentially cheaper, then yes, feed straw all day. But when we're looking at it going, well, you can get straw and treat it and do all that and see what kind of money you have, and bring in almost twice as much of it, which is what you have to do because of the lack of nutrition. They need twice as much. Remember, think tofu. Versus this stuff, it was just like, no, let's bring this in. So all in all, I'm excited. I think the cattle are going to be in a little better shape. Of course, we'll bring you along on that journey as we go. But for now, you guys, that's it. The straw is home. I'm going to go get on to the next project. Till next time. Oh, wait. Have you guys had the chance to check out the podcast yet? My brother Luke and I are putting out a podcast every week, and it's really great. If you like this stuff and you like the family flow and you like the style of our lives, when I say that, I don't mean like rolling. I mean like we just, working and whatnot. We go in the podcast and talk about how we became this mentality, what kind of turned us into what we are, what experiences we had growing up. Really dive a lot into the trucking. Those of you guys that like the trucking stuff, you got to go check out the podcast Steady at the Wheel. Okay. Eventually we're going to have it on YouTube as well, and it'll release on my channel every week, as well as being on the podcast platforms. But go check it out. See you next time.